Hello HCA students and welcome to the week in review for Module 2 of your capstone. Yay! Alright, you are in capstone. Can you believe it that you've made it? You're almost done. Many of you are completely done with the program. This is the last course for many of you. Some of you have just one more course that you're doing along with this. But you're definitely at the summation of your baccalaureate career, so congratulations for that. Okay. For those of you that have had me before, you know I like to shoot these weekly videos, these kind of week in review videos. So this week I'm going to touch on a little bit what we did on Module 1, kind of recap those activities, and then also talk about what we're going to be doing in Module 2. Okay, so in Module 1, looks pretty good there. Many of you are progressing through on the conference that we're having, that little mini course conference that I like to do. I've had some really good discussions with you folks, really focusing on what those MoveNote presentations are and seeing if you have any questions about those MoveNote presentations. And then also sometimes we're talking about all kinds of other stuff too and what you're doing after graduation. So, but I always enjoy the course conferences, especially in the capstone. It's very exciting to hear what some of you have on the horizon for you as you approach graduation. All right, so we are still working on our conferences. If you do not get scheduled for this week, this is technically the final week for those conferences, let me know and we'll work out something so we can get caught up on that by Module 3. But I think all of you are scheduled, so I think we're looking pretty good on that. Last week you had your mini case study report. Very good there. Just remember that to follow all of the directions in that, the paragraphs necessary, that you're answering the questions that are posed to you about those cases. Use some thought and make sure that you are using critical thinking in those answers. There is really, I'm not going to grade you on a right or wrong answer. I'm going to grade, did you follow the basics of what was asked? And when it says complete paragraphs, make sure there are at least 5 sentences. And did you use critical thinking? Does it make sense in what you're saying? So just follow all the directions to get all of the points on your case study projects, on those little mini case studies. So everything looked very well there. A lot of you got the LinkedIn profile without any problems, and that looked really, really very good. Okay, so this week, what are we doing this week? Another mini case study. We're now going into HR, human resources. As you know, for those of you that we've already had the conferences, you know that this course is kind of divided into touch points where we're going back to some of that information that you've learned in your previous courses. So human resources, finance, a little bit of accounting in there, law, business law is going to be in there. We're going to bring back some of those concepts and those case studies will sort of center around that. This week is human resources. So all of you have had that human resource class here. We're going to have a really interesting case study about someone falling asleep on the job, a very important job. I think it's, though it can be kind of humorous that someone would fall asleep, this has actually happened. So use your creative minds as you approach this particular case study this week. We have a knowledge summary. Now, this is our first knowledge summary. We'll have a couple more of those as we go through this course, but basically some relevant topic, kind of fresh topic that we'll bring in here. You'll read that and write a little summary on what you've learned. And then the big one is the MoveNote leadership presentation. Make sure that, again, everybody I've talked to so far feels very comfortable with MoveNote. You've done it before with myself or your other instructors. But with MoveNote, sometimes it can glitch. You can have a little hiccup. It's always good to give yourself a little leeway. So shoot the video and knock on wood, you won't have to shoot it again. So, but if you do have to shoot it again, make sure you've given yourself some time to redo that. Now this one only has to be about 5 minutes long, so it's not that long, and it's on a very easy topic in leadership. All those topics are in there. I had a question, I think it was from Ashley in the virtual office, and I'll go ahead and answer that about those topics. I'd already talked to, I believe, her earlier in the week. They're not, you're not first come, first serve. So please just take whatever topic that's interesting to you within leadership and present that. We always have a few duplications, but that's okay. The more the merrier on these leadership presentations. So take whatever one that interests you. Remember, it is a 5-minute move note presentation, so it shouldn't be too hard. All of those topics that I have in there should be readily researchable. It shouldn't take too long to find good information on that to put together your move note. If you're spending more than 30 minutes, you're probably spending too long on finding the research material for this move note. So make sure you have that done by this Sunday, because we're going to be watching those in the following module. We'll learn a little bit more about leadership theory from all of us doing these move note presentations. So have that ready for peer review. And another question in the virtual office, well, the first one was, are we limited on the leadership topics? And no, you're not. You can choose whatever you want, and duplicates are okay. If one student does the same thing, it's perfectly fine. So that's one question. The other question had to do with rubrics. So with the leadership presentation, you will have a grading rubric. And that rubric, a very small component will be from peer evaluations, so your peers will contribute a little bit to that point total in there. So make sure that, again, you're putting forth a good effort, and look at that grading rubric. Now, the question that was posed in the virtual office was about the second move note presentation, and that was the rubric, is it the same as the one that we're doing now for leadership? It's almost identical. I will put it up there. I noticed that it wasn't available to you yet. You will see it as you go further along, or you would have seen it as you go further along in the modules. I'm going to put that rubric in there right now, so you can link to that grading rubric for the second move note presentation. The only real difference is the points are a little bit more, and then there's a time, the time frame of your presentation is a little bit longer, so that's adjusted for with the second rubric. But so you'll have that at the same time I'm posting this video. I will post the rubric, the grading rubric, for the second move note presentation. All of you will still use the same peer evaluation form, basically you checking off watching your fellow classmates do presentations and putting in your comments, just like you've seen all throughout the program. Some are kind of good, some great ideas, some can use some improvement. The nice thing about doing this leadership presentation is that take any criticism, either from myself or from your peers, as constructive, okay? The grading is very lenient on this leadership presentation. I want you to work out any final kinks that you have with MoveNote with this leadership presentation. So when you do the bigger presentation towards the end, the healthcare career summary report, I want that one to be pretty perfect for you, because we often invite other folks from the college to come in and to watch these. They can do an eval on them if they want. So we might have the president, from time to time, we've had the president come in and view these. So basically, if we were doing an oral presentation, the president would come into the class, the president of the college. Maybe the vice president might come into the class. They'll be invited as well to come in and view your kind of your summative presentation skills with your the career summary report that you're doing. So put your best foot forward on your final big effort here at the college, and we'll use this leadership presentation due this week as a warm-up to the bigger one. Okay, so that's pretty much covers going back to what we did in Module 1. Module 2, pretty straightforward. We got our mini case study report, knowledge summary, and your big leadership presentation. Again, not much. It's kind of light, other than the move note. So focus a lot of your efforts in there. We only have 3 things due this week, kind of 2 minor ones and 1 major. So that is pretty much it for this week. If you have any questions, please feel free to text message me. So far, this group has been kind of quiet. A couple of questions in the virtual office, which I've either answered offline with those individuals or hopefully have clarified for you in this week in review. But if you do have any questions, please text message me. That's really the best way and the quickest way to get a hold of me. It's the way I prefer to, because usually I can get back to you within minutes versus hours if you do have a question. So especially this week as you're doing your move notes, sometimes things can go awry and you might have some questions. So please don't hesitate to contact me with text message. Excellent. Well, that is pretty much all for this week. And as always, thank you for watching.